Hello and welcome to this week's Christmas episode of Everything Under the Sun, a weekly podcast answering all the most pressing questions children around the world have about life on Earth. My name is Molly and today I have a very special guest, the most brilliant writer and storyteller, Neil Gaiman. Neil is one of the most famous writers in the world, and he has written lots of books, including Coraline, Stardust, which was made into a great film, The Day I Swapped My Dad for a Goldfish, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and the funniest picture books ever about a sneezing panda called Chew. He's going to help me answer our first question from B about Father Christmas and Mrs. Christmas. Over to B.
Hi, I'm B and I'm 5. I like cats and dogs. I'm here to ask, can Mrs. Christmas help Father Christmas to see are people naughty or not? Exclamation mark.
To answer B's question, I'm handing over to Neil Gaiman.
Hello B, I'm Neil Gaiman and I write books and make up stories and do all sorts of things, and I've been asked to answer your question. And the answer is, well, yes she can and yes she does. But the important thing to remember about Mrs. Christmas is she's significantly more soft-hearted than Father Christmas. I mean, Father Christmas is busy. He has giant toy factories to run. He has to organise a mad dash during which every single batch of presents in the world get delivered in one night. So he tends to take his attention off the actual naughty or niceness and does actually leave it to Mrs. Christmas, and she is the softie. So the odds are that she's not actually really going to give you the kind of terrible black marks that Father Christmas himself might give if you've been naughty. She'll probably go, well, B's been more nice than naughty, and any naughtiness is obviously excusable because B is awesome. So that's actually why Father Christmas doesn't wind up delivering coal to kids. And I like to think it's because she's a softie. Of course, the elves say that it's just because Mrs. Christmas doesn't like having to do the incredible amount of cleanup involved. When Father Christmas actually in the old days did have to haul lumps of coal around the world. There were millions and millions of lumps of coal. The reindeer were getting exhausted. Father Christmas would come back black with soot, all of his clothes. It would take her months to get them lovely and white and red again. And his beard, she likes it white. That's what the elves say, but I don't believe it. I think she's a softie.
So there you go, B. Thanks to Neil, now you know why even if you've been a bit naughty, you'll probably get lovely presents from Father Christmas, because Mrs. Christmas is a big softie. I hope that answers your question, B. Our next question comes from Tommi. It's also about Father Christmas. Over to Tommi.
My name is Tommi. I'm 5. I like building blocks. And my question is, has an astronaut ever seen Father Christmas?
Hi, Tommi. This is such a good question. And amazingly, the answer is yes. 10 days before Christmas, on December the 15th, 1965, a long time ago, there were 2 spaceships out in space called Gemini 6 and Gemini 7. Their mission was to get close to one another in space to perform what is called a space rendezvous. They managed to do it. Gemini 6 got close to Gemini 7, making the first ever manned space rendezvous. The astronauts inside Gemini 6 were heading back to Earth when they looked out of the window, and they saw something very magical. They called down to NASA, who were listening back on Earth, and this is what they said.
Yeah, we have an object, looks like a satellite, going from north to south, probably in polar orbit. Looks like he might be going to re-enter soon. I see a command module and 8 smaller modules in front. The pilot of the command module is wearing a red suit.
What they were saying was out of the window of their spaceship, they could see Father Christmas with 8 reindeer out in front, pulling his sleigh, flying through space. Maybe he was practicing for Christmas Eve in a few days' time, his busiest night of the year. Then the astronauts played jingle bells on a little harmonica and sleigh bells they had smuggled into the spaceship. Here's a clip of them playing jingle bells in space. That's Jingle Bells being played in space. It was the first song ever played by humans in space. The bells they used are on show at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C., America, and I'll post a picture of them on my Twitter, @MollyOldfield, and my Instagram, @MollyOldfieldWrites, so you can see. I hope that answers your question, Tommy. Our next question is from Rosie, and it's about reindeer.
Hi Molly, I'm Rosie. I'm 6 years old and I live in Connecticut. I have a question for you. Can reindeers see in dark because they like to eat carrots? Bye.
Hi Rosie, thanks for your great question. Well, reindeer live in very cold parts of the world where it's often dark for long months of the winter. So reindeer are born being able to see in the dark. They can see a type of light called ultraviolet light, which helps them make their way around in the months of the year when there's very little sunshine. Although we love to leave mince pies and carrots out on Christmas Eve for Father Christmas and the reindeer, it's not the carrots that help them see, they're just born able to see in the dark. In the wild, reindeer like to eat grass, leaves and mushrooms, especially ones called fly agaric mushrooms, which are the red and white ones you see in storybooks. They're poisonous to us, so don't eat them, but reindeer love them. I'm sure they also love crunchy carrots, because they're nice and sweet. Did you know that carrots don't really help you see in the dark? They do contain vitamin A, which you need to help you see in low light, so eating carrots is definitely a good idea. But eating lots and lots won't give you superhuman night vision. The idea that carrots help you see in the dark came about during the Second World War, when the government wanted people to grow lots of carrots and other vegetables so people had fresh food to eat. During the war, it was hard to get food supplies into the UK, and lots of food had to be rationed. But vegetables never were because people grew lots to feed the country. Reindeer are the only deer in the world in which both males and females have antlers. Males usually have larger antlers than the girls, and they often lose them in the winter, which means it's very likely Father Christmas's reindeer are girls. I hope that answers your question, Rosie. Our final question is about Christmas trees. We had similar questions sent into the show by Gigi, Lottie and Wren. Here they are.
Hi, I'm Gigi and I'm 9 years old and I like dogs, tennis and cookies. My question is, why do we cut down trees and decorate them for Christmas?
Hi, my name is Lottie and I'm 7 years old and I'm wondering, why do we have Christmas trees?
Hello, my name is Wren and I'm 4 years old. And my question is, how are Christmas trees made?
Hi Gigi, Lottie and Wren. Well, this is a great question. I imagine now in your home you have a Christmas tree twinkling away, covered in decorations you may have put up yourself. Hopefully it has 1 or 2 presents waiting for you underneath for Christmas Day. But what's the tree doing there? Well, fir trees, which we know as Christmas trees, have been used to celebrate festivals in the winter in Europe for thousands of years. Because they're still green in winter, unlike lots of other trees that shed their leaves in autumn. It was the Germans who first decided to decorate them and make them something pretty in their homes at Christmas. This German tradition came to England because of a royal lady named Charlotte. She was the wife of King George III. One Christmas in 1800, she threw a big party for children and decorated a Christmas tree. Everyone loved it. People started to copy her, and before too long, everyone wanted their own Christmas tree. And we're still doing it today. The big question each year is what to do with your tree after Christmas. In Germany, people often give their Christmas trees to the zoo once Christmas is over. There are lots of animals that like to eat Christmas trees, especially elephants. One elephant can eat 5 Christmas trees for lunch. I'm not sure London Zoo or any other zoo would like the trees, but if you live nearby and are thinking about it, you'd better ring them up first to see. I hope that answers your question, Wren, Lottie and Gigi. Finally, it wouldn't be Christmas without Christmas crackers and their silly jokes. Last week I asked you to send in jokes for a chance to win tickets for all your family to go to London Zoo in the Christmas holidays. Here are all the Christmas cracker jokes you sent in.
Where did the ghost work?
What's the answer? I don't know. Where's the ghost work?
In the ghost office.
What do you call Father Christmas with no pants? St. Nicholas.
Where do snowmen go to dance? I don't know. Snowballs. Knock, knock. Who's there? I'm up. I'm up who? You're a poo. Hello.
Why was the snowman looking at the carrot? He was picking his nose.
Hello, my name is Matilda. I am 5 years old. I like playing hide and seek. This is my favourite Christmas joke. What do elves learn at school? The alphabet. My name is Tommy. I like building blocks. I'm 5 and my joke is, what is a shark's favourite pudding called? Jellyfish.
I loved all the jokes and I couldn't decide. So I got a penguin to pick a winner out of a hat. The penguin said the winner is Tommy! Congratulations, Tommy! Have a fun day out with all your family seeing the animals at ZSL London Zoo. Did you know that Christmas crackers were invented around 170 years ago by an English sweet maker named Tom Smith? He started off wrapping up sweets in pretty paper and adding a little note. The next year he put in a present as well and wrapped it up in a tube. He called it a Christmas bonbon. He got the idea for the crackers crack from watching logs crackling in his fireplace. Thousands of different crackers are made today, and I'm sure we'll never run out of Christmas cracker jokes. Right, that's it for this week. Huge thanks to B, Tommy, Rosie, Gigi, Lottie and Wren for this week's question. Thanks to London Zoo for the tickets and to all the children who sent in jokes. And of course, a huge thank you to the very wonderful Neil Gaiman for telling us how the naughty list works in the Christmas household. Thank goodness for Mrs. Christmas. A big thank you to Ash Gardner at House of Strange for the theme song and Audio Networks for all the lovely incidental music we used this week. I'll be back next week answering more questions from children around the world in another episode of Everything Under the Sun. Wishing you a very happy Christmas full of singing, laughter and jokes. Let's hope Father Christmas comes to see you while you're sleeping on Christmas Eve. Don't worry if you haven't been good all the time this year, because as Neil told us, Mrs. Christmas knows you're wonderful anyway. Happy Christmas, thank you, and goodbye!